about the Red Star update. Looks like there's going to be a dramatic change to the Red Star power curve. We're going to talk about Toad and maybe Blob. Now, we don't have the clip for Blob yet. We're going to get a kit for Blob probably next week, but we get to look at the Toad kit right now. We're also going to talk about Dark Dimension 3, and then we're going to also talk about the Heroes Campaign number 7. First things first, probably the most important thing, we have to talk about the Red Star update, because Red Stars has been the most controversial thing in Marvel Strike Force to date. I remember when Red Stars came out, made 5 videos in a row. Not happy with Red Stars. I just do not like the way that they are random, and the power curve on Red Stars was very steep. So they said they were going to share the plans on February 21st, but they came out a little bit early, and they said that they have to test it, and these are tentative plans. So they came out a little bit early, and they're basically going to boost the power curve drastically. The way it is right now, it goes 2, 5, 10, 20, 35, 50, and 75, and they're going to basically make a 1 red star the equivalent of a 2 red star equivalent of a 3, and so on. So the power curve is going to be a little bit more flat. Now, this is a big deal because I'm finding that most of my roster is settling somewhere in between 3 and 4 stars. I get pretty excited when I get a 5 stars. I do a backflip and go all crazy when I get a 6 red star, and I've never received a 7 red star. So the second thing that they talk about is using Wakandans in some sort of event that's similar to the Payday event, where you were able to get promotion credits, because getting these characters from 4 to 5 takes tons of tickets. I mean, just going from 4 stars to 5 stars is 300 tickets, and the only source that I have for that is going to be Dark Dimension 3. And yes, we do have 10 gold tickets, which can take 2 existing 5 stars to 6 stars, but I don't even have the correct 5 stars to upgrade. So we need more access, and it sounds like they're going to do that, and it's going to be with Wakandans, and they're going to have some sort of new Flash event where they're going to earn gold and silver promotion credits. Now, the thing I like about this is that they said they were going to use Wakandans, and Wakandans kind of got the shaft, if you will, because they were never really as good as everybody thought they were going to be. They weren't the best raid team by any means, and I know a lot of people put a bunch of T4s into them, so maybe they'll get full value today. I pretty much ignored upgrading Wakandans myself, but it sounds like I'm going to have to upgrade the Wakandans. First instance of this Flash event will require Wakandans. The proposed changes of the power curve in addition to this suite of updates is still being proposed internally and will be coming by the end of April. Now, there's been a discussion about why is it going to take so long, and I personally don't know how long it takes to develop things, no clue, but I certainly don't want them to flip a switch and this all go live and have everything not balanced correctly, especially in raids. But I also suspect that they want the first wave of people to get through Dark Dimension first before they do this. I do know that they have to get approval from Marvel and then the Google Play Store and then iTunes Store. So a lot of these things take time. And I guess it becomes a situation of, do you want it to know that they're working on it and it's going to come out in April, or would you rather have them say nothing at all and then in the middle of April say, hey, we're going to change Red Stars, and then say nothing between now and then, because that's how things work. So you kind of have to choose, not knowing or waiting a long time is kind of how things are when it comes to development, is my understanding. So personally, I feel a lot of these things were in plans, but the controversy over the last couple of weeks, I believe, has drastically improved the transparency, and we've been getting a lot more information for sure. And I'm happy with a lot of the information. Red Stars is way overdue. Okay, let's go over Toad's kit. I'm glad we're getting Toad, and we're also going to get Blob. And I'm curious to see how this works. And I personally was using Carnage and Venom inside of Brotherhood with Magneto, Juggernaut, and Pyro. And now that we've got Symbiote Spider-Man, I can shift that to a different team, and then we're going to get 2 new characters, Toad and Blob. And the kit looks very interesting, and it looks like it's going to do a lot of things that the Brotherhood absolutely needs to do, and it looks like it's going to be a very strong offensive war team. I don't know if it's going to make it to the arena or if these characters are going to be arena viable, but it's definitely going to be a war team. Its basic attack can put slow, which could be useful, and offense down. And then his middle ability will extend the negative effects by a duration of 1. And it says attack the primary and all adjacent targets for damage. So typically in a Brotherhood team, Magneto brings everybody together. So this should hit the entire team, and it should be extending the duration of all the negative effects for an additional turn. And we're currently was using Venom for that, so that's kind of nice. Now this is interesting because in his passive ability, he's kind of has like Magneto has, where he gets speed bar based on the number of Brotherhood, but his ultimate ability can go off right away, and it'll apply taunt and defense up to allied blobs. So depending on what the turn order is and how that works, it could be a very early taunt from Blob, kind of like Drax, almost like a pre-taunting tank, if you will, is what the Blob is going to be like. But we'll see. We have to see the Blob kit. We have to see the full kit, because this kit right here doesn't show the numbers. It just basically is the text. Clear all negative effects from self. Apply taunt and defense up to allied blob. Attack the primary target for damage and clear 2 positive effects. I like that. And they're probably going to be all clumped up again if Magneto goes first. We'll have to see who goes first, Magneto or if it's going to be Toad. Chain 4 or 5 adjacent targets for damage and clear 2 positive effects on each target. But if Blob's an ally, it'll be attack the primary secondary targets for increased damage instead. I'm thinking they're all going to be clumped together, so that'll be fine. This attack cannot be dodged or counterattacked. And then his passive ability has gained dodge chance. He gets the speed bar that we talked about. He also gets an assist now for each Brotherhood ally's turn, so he's going to be assisting all the time. We have to see if his basic attack, because sometimes the assist is different than the basic attack. I'll be curious to see if his assist does this as well. It doesn't always work that way. There's some inconsistencies between assist and basic attack. We'll have to see that when it's published on MSF.gg. And then in war, right here, they gain focus, and Brotherhood gains focus. I think that's very good. And then if anybody's taunting, which could be Juggernaut or Blob, he'll gain offense up. Cool, right? We'll have to see it. I want to see the Blob kit. Then we'll just see how this goes. But it seems pretty good. I'm glad we're going to be getting this. Next, they talk about Heroes Chapter 7. And I've been talking to some people about that. Most people feel it was rather challenging, but not too challenging. I know I kind of struggled for the first 3 stages here, which was City Heroes, but I was able to 3-star all of it with a team around 250,000 total power. I don't remember the exact team, but it was some combination of the Defenders, maybe a Ms. Marvel, but I actually did it and it wasn't too hard. I had to go through it several times. Some people are telling me that they can do it as low as 220,000. So maybe just try a lot of different combinations. Maybe there's some videos out there. And then the rest of it was pretty easy to 3-star. Of course, Colossus is farmable now. More importantly than that, we have access to superior damage catalysts, all these gold pieces. I need tons of it. Tons of these pieces. My goodness, there's just tons and tons and tons of pieces in here. Pretty much all of my refreshes are going to all of these pieces because I need all of them. And it seems welcomed. And it seems to be mid-game content. It is end-game, but it seems mostly to be mid-game. Now, we have to talk about Dark Dimension 3. I'm personally not ready, but I probably have to make a separate video about this tool that I've been using because the clumping of the bio heroes in the city in the last 3 is very worrisome, and to get this to some sort of a balanced approach seems to be challenging right now because boy, these uniques or these mini uniques, I'm not sure really what to call them, are very rare, and there needs to be some planning, and it seems to be there is a shortage of skill, and mutants pretty much can only use mutants in the global line, and then there's not really any good mutants or skills in the last 2, and and bio is just all clumped up in city. There's not a lot of good choices in the city except for bio. So I'll probably have to make a separate video about what I'm going to do. Initially, it looks like I'm going to be going towards some sort of plan like this, but I also want to see how hard it is getting through Dark Dimension. Looks like there's some people that are already 70% through. I'm hoping that the first 8 stages only require Phoenix and Ultron. That way I can be a little bit more lax on the last 3. Some people are saying they have to use Scientist Supreme, but Scientist Supreme is tech, and I need to put tech somewhere else. It's all going to be clumped up. We'll see. Then further on in the blog post, we've got the Cubits Battlefield running right now with Cyclops, and a lot of people are excited about Cyclops, and I am mostly excited because I've got little kitties to ruin my videos all the time. All right, let me know what you think about the blog post. I think it looks good. I mean, I hate to say this, but the Red Star update is so long overdue, and yes, I should be like praising them, but it's just been way too long on how long it took for this to come through. I mean, I've not been a fan of the Red Star system since day one. I'm glad that it's getting fixed, but boy, I wish this was fixed a year ago, frankly. All right, guys, let me know what you think in the comment section. And as always, thanks for watching and keep on gaming.